Welcome to the show! Welcome, everybody. Alright, this is where shit gets crazy. I didn't even know that that was a thing. You don't want the magic trick to be happening where people look. Guys, I don't have a name for this show yet, so if you have an idea of what I should call this update, newsletter, show thing, go ahead and put it in the comments. I'm looking for something that's funny and good. A good funny name for the show. So if you got anything, let me take it from you. Real quick, my name is Gordon Horwitz. I'm a 3D motion graphics, visual effects artist, and today you're gonna hear me ramble a little bit about a subject that I like to talk about. So I'm in for a treat. I'm pumped. I'm jazzed. So what we got on the itinerary today is, listen, I saw Sinners, all right? And it was good. It was a good movie. The actors were great. The effects were great. The eyes were great. The film was filmy. They did shoot it on film. It was great. It was a good movie. And, of course, we got Michael B. Jordan playing twins. He's playing the two main characters. And they're passing cigarettes back and forth. They're fighting with each other. So I wanted to go through kind of a timeline in my top 5 for the top 5 VFX duplicated actors in a movie. Unfortunately, there's no documentation that I could find for Sinners and how they did Michael B. Jordan's twin. So instead, we're going to deep dive on a hidden gem, a movie that I love called
Multiplicity. Hey, Rain Man, run back in there and floss yourself, buddy, all right?
There's plenty of documentation on that. So we'll do the top 5. I'll talk a bunch about Multiplicity. I'll go over the iconic shot, and I'll give you guys a little update of what I've been working on lately. So let's dive right into this video. All right, so let's jump into it. First up, this movie came out in 1988. Dead Ringers came out in 1988, directed by the Mr. Cronenberg, and we've got 2 Jeremy Irons in this. It's exactly what you would expect from 1988. So the special sauce on this is mostly the motion control camera. So they can run through the motion once, and the operators give inputs, and they give the camera its movement. All those inputs are recorded so that the same camera movement can be done over and over and over again, precisely how it was done the first time. And it allows Jeremy Irons to go and change, get different makeup, different hair, whatever he needs, get into the different character, and then they can run it back with him now acting opposite his former self. From all of my research and everything that I've found, for all of these where the actor does one character, changes, and then goes and does the other character, it takes around anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour for that change to happen. So here what we've got, the motion control camera is running back the second time, and all they've got is this split screen where they can just divide it right down the middle. There's plenty that they can do to kind of make those exposure differences or whatever's going on there, make them meet up to each other so that there's no seam in the middle like that. And I mean, this was what they could do. And it's kind of unfortunate because what it means is that you've got to keep these actors on separate sides of the frame, and they can't be shaking hands, they can't be hugging each other. The only way that you're going to get that is if you're only seeing one person's face at a time. So they got to be split up. It's unfortunate, but it's amazing. It's amazing. You got Jeremy Irons playing 2 characters. It's fucking awesome. All right, next in the timeline is Multiplicity. This is 96, and I won't go into it too much right now. We'll get into it later, but I mean, the jump from 88 to now is insane. We've got roto and green screen and all this stuff now, so we'll get into that, but Multiplicity at number 2. All right, now at number 3, this is where shit gets crazy. We've got Matrix Reloaded. This came out in 2003. We've got Hugo Weaving, and we need him duplicated like a billion times in this fight with Keanu Reeves. What's really cool about this is that there's a huge collection of different techniques going on here. From even just actors on set with convincing hair and makeup, we've got motion control camera coming in again so that we can get this big wraparound shot where Hugo Weaving can actually deliver lines to Neo multiple times. Now we're at the point where we can do this 3-camera facial capture setup where they're able to get not only textures and reference and mesh, they're able to get to a point where they have this insanely photoreal 3D digital double of Hugo Weaving's head, and they're able to use that not only for putting onto some of the doubles that maybe aren't as convincing, but they can also use it. I believe they only had 12 on-set doubles. All the rest, all the ones in the background, are populated by this 3D digital double.
I'm totally, absolutely ready for the juggernaut
of multipass mayhem that is being inflicted upon me by the very well-written prose of the Wachowski brothers. Remember, it's the writers that invite the technological onslaught that you may see.
I just really appreciate that there's a bunch of different techniques going on, each that are suited for the exact shot and the exact type of thing that they need from each shot. I think that's really cool. All right, and then boom, we're on number 4. We got The Social Network. This came out in 2010. And can we all just say a big rest in peace for Josh Pence? So Josh Pence and Armie Hammer played the Winklevoss twins in The Social Network, and neither of them knew when they got the role that one of them wasn't going to be in the movie. And the day came and they let poor Josh know that Armie Hammer was going to be both of the Winklevoss twins.
And I threw the phone through the wall and started throwing up and crying. And
So what they ended up doing is they went back to this same idea of the 3-camera facial capture setup, except what they used is what they're calling this hockey mask setup. It's way more simplified than something like a super advanced digi-double, where you're using a lot of kind of the original facial texture and everything that they get from the 3-camera setup, except it has very even lighting. And then what they do is they're able to analyze the footage of Josh Pence when he's in the shot, and then they're able to use it to inform a computer-controlled lighting system that then lights Armie Hammer's face while they're getting the facial capture. Then they're able to put that onto a very, honestly, like super rudimentary face card that they're able to track onto Josh Pence, and then they can put Armie Hammer's face texture back on that super basic card. They're shooting everything twice. Armie Hammer's getting changed. He's coming back. They're doing these 45-minute changes. Sometimes, honestly, probably a little quicker. Relatively simple solution that nobody notices. And you have to tell people after they watch the movie that no, that actor wasn't twins. They had to do it with visual effects. All right, and at number 5, we've got Gemini Man. This came out in 2019, and not only are we duplicating the actor, but we're also de-aging. But focusing on the duplication, at this point, we're just doing full CG. The solution is CGI. And Weta went insane with their Will Smith rig. It's just absolutely insane. They used machine learning to kind of copy a lot of his facial expressions, but even at that, they've got blood pressure, they've got muscle twitches, they've got poor flow. I didn't even know that that was a thing. And for a lot of these shots, it's amazing. It's beautiful, which is even funnier because then in some shots it's really not. It is a little uncanny, but you got to give it to him. I mean, this rig is just insane. Weta going off for no reason on Gemini Man. There's your top 5. Now let's dig into Multiplicity. First things first, this is a fun movie.
Tuck, fold, TTF, and no air goes in there because what? Air's our enemy, isn't it?
Michael Keaton plays a father, business owner. He's super busy. He can't find time in the day. He meets this guy who has a cloning facility, clones himself. It's the hijinks of one of his clones he sends to work while he can go golf, and the other one takes care of the kids. By the end of the movie, they needed Michael Keaton and his 3 clones to be having comedic exchanges back and forth. It's really interesting, the intersection of time and technology and budget and how that informed how they achieved all this. And Richard Edlund, the VFX supervisor, said as much. A lot of this stuff was very possible at the time, but they were just working on a budget for a comedy movie and not an action sci-fi adventure movie. So a lot of what they did in order to make this happen was just trying to keep things as beautifully simple as possible. So you'll see a lot of the time, oh, he needs to toss a Coke can to him. As long as it just leaves the shot for a couple frames, that's your transition. That's all it has to be. But then when you've got more complicated stuff, like you need him to hand himself the plate with the sandwich on. And this is where it gets really clever, and I love this, is that, okay, so you got to remember that there's 2 shots going on here, right? So we've got the A shot with number 1 Michael Keaton. We've got the B shot with number 3 Michael Keaton. And number 3 Michael Keaton is miming. He's making this sandwich, right? Motion control camera sweeps around. Richard referred to it as the upstage arm. As number 3's hand passes behind his body, when it comes back out, this is now the arm of the onset double in the A shot that's wearing the same shirt. So now all within the A shot, this double hands Michael Keaton the plate and he passes it and he touches it and it's all seamless because the seam is actually on number 3's chest way over here on the right. You don't want the magic trick to be happening where people look. So then the hand recedes, it goes back behind his back, and now we're back to the B side, number 3's real arm. This is so clearly well choreographed. He's miming out a little handoff motion with his shoulders. characters, just ties it up so beautifully. And this whole movie was full of this like really cool solutions to all these problems. They had this van on set every day where 3 comp guys were just doing like super rough comps of different stuff, rotoing out different things, so that on set, as Michael Keaton's off doing 45-minute costume changes, they can be doing comps. Then when they go to do the next take, they're able to see a rough idea of where these characters are going to be. Sometimes they would have someone opposite Michael Keaton getting a POV of his performance, so that then they could have a little monitor stand up right where Michael Keaton would be, and so he could be acting off of like a playback of his previous take. Otherwise, they're using doubles. They're using green screen doubles. When you got 3 guys in a bathroom, the 3rd guy in the back is in the real bathroom, and the 2 guys in front are in a full green screen bathroom. It's crazy not only for the time, but you got to think it's crazy for the budget. That's it for the deep dive. That was Multiplicity. Now we're going to move on to this issue's iconic shots, and this time it's going to be the clash between Anakin and Obi-Wan in the Mustafar duel. Now, a big reason that I chose this shot is because I was on LinkedIn and I was browsing posts on LinkedIn, and I saw this LinkedIn post that showed there's this rigging artist that they totally missed and left in the background of the shot. I couldn't believe it. When I first looked at it, I was like, there's no way that that's in the movie. And I looked up the scene and I found the moment, and that is in the movie for 1 frame. I love that type of shit, and it made me think of this sequence, and I thought, perfect, iconic shot of the week. This shot is emblematic of the whole movie. It's literally iconic. It's on the cover of the movie. It's burned into every young boy's mind from my generation, and the best part of it is that on the DVD for Revenge of the Sith it's like this hour-plus long documentary called Within a Minute, and it's about everything that goes into this 60-second sequence that happens on the Mustafar duel. Little baby Gordon ate this shit up. I cannot tell you how many times that I've seen this documentary, and it's really amazing, and it goes into way more than just the VFX. They talk about everything from costume design to producing to even catering. I mean, it's seriously an amazing documentary. I do recommend checking it out. And it does talk a lot about the VFX for this. So much cool stuff that went into this. The environment artist talks about spending 2 months painting the moving digital backdrop that surrounds this entire sequence. On all the green screen walls, they already had this system for keeping track of everything and keeping track of which wall they're looking at. So they had tracking markers that had X and Y on it, so that not only could they track the camera motion, but they also knew which direction that they were facing at all times. And what I thought was really cool is they had these little sticky tracking markers that if they ever did a close-up or they had anything where they needed some specific localized tracking, they could toss these anywhere on the wall, and then the tracking artist had something to grab onto. And then easily the coolest VFX behind the scenes tidbit about this sequence is that while they were in pre-production for this sequence, an actual volcano started erupting. So the producers and some of the VFX guys quickly grabbed a camera, boarded a plane, and they were there like within the day to shoot daytime, nighttime, horizontal, vertical, close-up, wide shots of a real volcanic eruption. And when Anakin and Obi-Wan clash their lightsabers, that is composited, that is the real footage of whatever volcano that was actually erupting. As they clash, it spouts up behind them. I love that shit. All right, and then quickly, I'll show you guys a little bit of what I've been working on lately. The high poly model for the cryopod is officially done. So now I'm working on the low poly model. You got a high poly model and a low poly model, and the difference is one has a lot more detail, but it's a lot more intense to render. So you make a low poly model and you do what's called baking the details down into the low poly model, and you make it part of the texture information instead of part of the geometry information. Basically, long story short, it just means that you retain the same amount of detail, but it's less intense to render. So that's what I'm working on right now, is making that possible. As you can see, I've completed a lot of the details in here. Unfortunately, I think my favorite part is kind of the upper roof section, which is not the focal point of this piece at all. I ended up just having a lot of great detail in there, and I really like the way that that area looked. Next step is texturing, so I'll be able to get some beauty renders of this out, and this is all part of the ongoing project of me trying to recreate the opening sequence from Halo Combat Evolved in the cryo room where Master Chief emerges. So I've got a bunch of assets for the scene so far, still have a lot more to go. This is so far, I mean, this is the most intense thing that I've ever modeled before, and I'm really happy with how it's turning out, and I'm really excited to get to texture it because I think it's looking good. All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching this. Thank you for sticking to the end. I really appreciate it. I hope you learned something. I hope that you were entertained. I hope you like me. I hope you think that I'm funny. And this is seriously a trial run for this. I liked doing the newsletters, and now I just want to do a video version of it. So let me know what you guys think, and I will see you in the next one. Welcome to the show. Oh, no. The bulb is failing. Everyone say a little prayer for the bulb. Okay, we're going to push through it because that's professionalism.